Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and Happy New Year. I'm Jill Valley. Dennis Bragg is off tonight. Tonight in Flathead County, we are learning more about two men who died in separate snowboarding incidents on Saturday. MTN's Nicole Miller has reaction from those close to the scene.
22-year-old Connor Heidegger of Rollins and 28-year-old Scott Robert Hornstraw of Alberta lost their lives in separate incidents while snowboarding Saturday in Flathead County. The first incident occurred off Blacktail Road in Lakeside. Heidegger was out of bounds and some distance from the Blacktail ski area when he attempted to jump off a cliff and died from blunt force trauma.
He never even came to the ski area. He was off to the side of the road. Skiing inbounds where you have the support of patrol is important. And we responded as Good Samaritans because we heard of the call through the Lakeside Quick Response Unit.
The second incident occurred at Whitefish Mountain Resort. Hornstraw became separated from his group. Flathead Search and Rescue found him early Sunday morning, upside down in a tree well. The resort released a statement saying, quote, "We are deeply saddened by this tragic accident. Any death at our resort is an event that impacts the entire Whitefish Mountain Resort community. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family and friends as they cope during this difficult time." Riley Columbus with the resort says it's an unfortunate reminder of the inherent risks of the sport.
It's an unfortunate risk of our sport that tree wells as well as deep snow can be a very serious hazard.
Columbus says when the powder is fresh, guests should take some extra precautions.
The best way to avoid this kind of a tragedy is to avoid deep snow and trees completely, stay on groomed runs. However, if you are going to go and enjoy the trees and enjoy the powder, you should be skiing with someone else, and you should always keep your partner in sight.
In Flathead County, Nicole Miller, MTN News.
The last time Whitefish Mountain Resort saw a death was in 2014. Well, we can expect quiet conditions throughout the region as we welcome in this new year. For more on what Mother Nature has in store for us next, let's go over to Chief Meteorologist Erin Yost now. She has our first forecast. Erin.
Hey Jill, yeah, we're seeing some pretty quiet conditions to kick off 2018. High pressure in the vicinity is going to keep things pretty stagnant. Unfortunately, that means valley inversions and then that persistent fog, low cloud stuff that kind of hangs around throughout much of the day. This is Hamilton earlier this afternoon for Security Bank ICAM. You could see some of those low clouds across a good portion of the northeast quarter of the Treasure State, including some of the Missoula and Bitterroot valleys. Of course, some has kind of come and gone throughout the day, but all in all, we will keep this weather pattern in place through at least early Wednesday, second half of the week, bit of a warm up. I've got more details on the way.
Well, 2018 kicked off with a bang for some people in Missoula who are looking forward to having a more active year ahead. Run Wild Missoula and Runner's Edge sponsor the annual January 1st resolution run that hopes to get runners off on the right foot. It was foggy and chilly this morning, but there was loud music and lots of cheering as people crossed the finish line. About 500 people ran this timed 5K race that snaked through the Rattlesnake neighborhood near the school. One group of friends say they look forward to running more in the new year with their buddies.
I'm going to try to reach out to people that I haven't spoken to for a long time. That's one of my goals for the year. But just to have more runs and just spend time with these running friends.
Afterwards, runners warmed up with hot soup. Now, a lot of people want to get in shape for the new year. It's a big resolution. Some of them want to avoid chilly temperatures, so it could be a great time of year to actually join a gym. According to Jill Bross, membership services of the Peak Health and Wellness Center, the start of January has a lot of deals for consumers looking to get fit in the new year. Although a gym's traffic will increase during the month of January, Bross says many people are feeling motivated right now. They need to use that motivation to pursue their goals.
It's busy. It's always really busy. We have a lot of people coming in. They want to sign up. They want to kind of know what we have to offer, what our services are, what kind of classes, training, obviously the pool and the basketball courts, everything. They just have a lot of questions. They just want to find out, kind of get some more information.
The Peak is offering a lower monthly sign-up fee and hopes to inspire people with their 2018 health resolutions. A lot of local gyms and other fitness programs are doing the same, so call around. Here's a guy who was totally committed to his resolution. He's a Billings man who finished 2017 working out for the 365th day. To celebrate the streak, he put in 365 minutes of exercise today. MTN's David J. brings us part of his more than 6 hours of fitness training.
Right hand plant, spread the fingers.
You know what's tough? That hot yoga, it gets nice and hot and nice because it warms your body up and you feel more flexible and works a lot of that core strength. Plus it makes you do some things that your body probably isn't used to doing, so again, kind of helps mix it up.
Leif Wellhaven works out in a hot yoga class at Black Orchid. He started his day at 6 with cardio work, lifting weights, a cycle class, and more lifting.
If you just keep doing the same thing over and over, you can get bored with it and then you could quit, and so try to do different things all the time.
Wellhaven played football, basketball, and was a track athlete at West High School and wanted to get back into shape.
December 31st is when I started last year and decided I wanted to lose 100 pounds and I wanted to work out every day for 365 days. Those were my first 2 goals.
I would really like to thank all of you for coming in this morning, getting on the roads and supporting Leif.
More than 50 helped celebrate Wellhaven's 365th workout day. And then it was back to Granite Fitness for his final workout hour of 2017.
Well, yesterday I was a little bit overwhelmed. I felt a little emotional just because I thought, gosh, I actually did it. I'm nearing the end of it, and so I'm kind of sad to see it end, but at the same time, it's really just the beginning. Now I just got to keep that healthy lifestyle up as I move on and hopefully live a longer, fuller, healthier life.
And he says his workouts have been good for his family.
My family has been really great. They've been very supportive. We cook differently now. We make better buying choices at the grocery store, buying better food. That's been a big part of it. Plus just changing our habits, our daily habits.
Happy 365th day of working out.
It's great for everybody, and I think everybody around me can feel probably the positive energy and the confidence because it changes really how you look at things. And so I've just had this great, wonderful year, and I really attribute a lot of it to just making that decision to being a healthier me. And so hopefully people will see that and know that they can do it, because I'm nobody special. If I can do it, they can do it.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
There's a little inspiration for you. He also says his goal this year is to run a half marathon and then participate in the Spartan obstacle race in Kalispell. Well, with the start of the new year, Montanans will be paying more to register their vehicles. Lawmakers approved new fees last year to help fund the state motor vehicle division. Starting today, you'll see a 3% administrative charge to your current fees when you register your vehicle, including vehicle registration. There's going to be an additional $825 fee on light vehicles worth $150,000 or more, and an $800 fee on motorhomes worth $300,000 or more. Also starting today, Montana businesses that hire workers and offer them training through state apprenticeship programs will have access to a new tax credit. Today, California became the latest state to legalize recreational marijuana. It is expected to bring an economic windfall and possibly pave the way for other states to follow. Danielle Nottingham has the latest from Los Angeles.
A ribbon-cutting ceremony kicked off the historic day at a dispensary in Oakland, where hundreds of people lined up to buy recreational pot starting at 6 a.m. Harborside is one of the first shops in California to get the new city and state permits. Henry Wykowski was the first customer.
It's been a long time coming.
California joined 7 other states and the District of Columbia, where recreational marijuana is legal. Massachusetts is set to begin sales in July.
A couple of blackjacks and a lemon tree would be good.
But California is the largest market in the nation, and that has many other states watching closely.
It's going to send a message to other states that legalization, regulation, and taxation of marijuana is the correct public policy decision and that it works.
Buyers have to be at least 21 years old and can only purchase up to an ounce of recreational marijuana. Other restrictions include limiting the level of THC in each package of edibles. Recreational pot also costs more than medical marijuana because of a higher tax. Users say they want to end the stigma surrounding pot use.
I'm an employed, functioning adult, and I also smoke weed, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
With the addition of recreational sales, the pot industry in California is expected to generate at least $1 billion in tax revenue annually. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Legalization advocates believe Rhode Island, Vermont, Connecticut, New Jersey, and Delaware could be the next states to pass recreational marijuana laws. The president got in one last round of golf before heading back to the nation's capital tonight. He's keeping a close eye on foreign policy problems around the globe, including a nuclear North Korea and civil unrest in Iran. Weijia Zhang has more from the White House.
President Trump rang in the new year with a lavish party at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida.
We're going to have a great year. It's going to be a fantastic 2018.
2018 may be new, but there are some old problems that remain challenges for the White House. North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un addressed his country on New Year's Day and announced he now has a nuclear button on his desk after completing work on his nuclear arsenal. Kim says the weapons can reach every U.S. state. President Trump was non-committal when asked to respond.
We'll see. We'll see.
The president is also spending New Year's Day keeping an eye on domestic unrest in Iran.
At least 12 people have been killed in the ongoing demonstrations across the country. State TV is reporting that armed protesters try to take over police stations and military bases. The protests began Thursday over corruption and economic issues and has since spread. The government has responded by blocking social media sites and cracking down with force. President Trump tweeted that the U.S. is watching closely for human rights violations. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, the White House.
Still ahead, we'll continue to talk about New Year's resolutions and a new study that could be the key to your fitness success. And later, Derek reveals the #1 sports story of the year, something Grizz fans definitely noticed. That's still ahead here on KPAX.